Hello there, Coach Reza. My name is Owen Beatty, student number 10137966668, and this is my video submission for assignment 3 of our data science class. So here's my setup for this assignment. Since we really go through a lot of steps, let me just scroll down. I did want to bring up one thing really quickly. So in the test data sheet that we were given, there's just this line that is a bit it messes with some of the data types in subsequent questions. So I've gone ahead and removed that for my submission, and I will submit it with that test, with this edited test data sheet, just because it makes it work better based on some of the questions that we have later. So let me go ahead and just jump into the code. So first of all, obviously my information, then my import statements, and the first question that we have here is just to read the datasheet, which we do, and then print the first 5 rows using the head command. There we go. Then number 3, we will be renaming from 01234 to ID, range, value, machine type, and zip code. Then I will add my own information under ID and machine type because it seemed like the best column to add myself to. And in question 5, we will print the first 5 rows without my information. Number 6, we will be printing the data types. The command is a bit, or the question is a little bit confusing, so I have the type of the data frame as well as the type of each column in here. So ID as an int64, range and value is float 64s, and machine types and zip codes as objects, which comes into play later. So here we'll be displaying or grabbing the value column in 2 different ways, one with bracket notation and one with dot notation. The bracket notation is much more object-oriented because it passes a string as the value that it wants, as opposed to just a value following a period. Then in number 8, we will be checking the data types of these, which are both float 64, just as we expect based on this command up here. Then number 9, there's some explanation about why we cannot use the dot notation with the zip code column. That would be because zip code contains a space, which means we will not be able to grab it using dot notation, but we can use it in bracket notation because we are passing it a string. So if we go ahead and run it, there is the zip code column. Number 10, we will be creating the brand series using the machine type and the zip code added together, and then just right here, my data frame brand will be added to my data frame, and same thing with total, where we multiply range and value to add the total. Number 12, we get a lot of commands. The first one is just head, showing the newly added brand and total columns. The second one will be describe with parentheses, which summarizes the numerical columns. 3 will be describe without the parentheses, which it summarizes the entire thing because it references my data frame without actually calling the describe function. So it just summarizes the entire thing and tells us bound method nd frame dot describe as like a little what are you doing message. Then we check the shape, much like we have in class many times. It shows us the amount of rows and the amount of columns. And then the data types, just like before, although now we also have brand and total, which brand being composed of 2 objects is an object, and total being composed of 2 float 64s will be a float 64. 13, we will print the columns that are objects. So just the machine type, zip code, and brand. Number 14 will be renaming the ID column to my ID, but in a separate data frame apart from the original. So here's the unchanged version. It still prints the ID normally, and then if it's changed, there's the my ID column instead. This will be renaming it truly as from ID to my ID in the data frame in place. And we will print it as number 16 asks, just to prove that it is changed when we print my df, which is the name of the data frame we've been using the whole way through. Pardon me. Then if we go to number 17, we will be renaming everything to much simpler lowercase column names. And here they all are: ID, range, value, machine type, code, brand, and total. This one, number 18, we will be removing the spaces and replacing them with underscores, and then printing it out, which, there we see it. 19, we will drop the brand and total columns. They are gone when we print. Let me just run all, just to make sure that I didn't miss running any. So here, this one, I've gone back and edited it, but I originally added this if statement because without reset index drop equals true, it was changing index, or it was not changing index 4 to index 3, so index 3 and 5 were completely missing, and since we are in a notebook, anytime that I tried to rerun it, it was looking for IDs or indexes 3 and 5 and wasn't finding them, and therefore wasn't printing because it threw an error. So I added this just for making sure that wouldn't happen during my testing. Number 21, we will sort the value series, only the values, and display only the value series, in ascending order. So there they are. Number 22, we will sort the value series in ascending order, but this time showing the whole data frame, and there we go. 23, we will sort the value series in ascending order with the entire data frame in place. Sorry, that was 23. Number 24, we will sort the data frame based on the range and value in ascending and descending, so range, ascending, and value descending. There's the resultant data frame. Number 25, we will display only rows where their range is between 250 and 350. So as we can see, the ID of the first one there would be, well, that would just be that's the first one that it evaluated. Anyway, so that's number 25. Number 26 will be displaying those rows of my data frame where their range is between 250 and 350, and this one is sorted ascendingly. So number 580, ID 580 it has range of 250, so that would be the lowest one. Number 27 will be displaying only the ID and value columns of those rows of my data frame where their range is between 250 and 350. So there they are. This is this is different because we aren't sorting it ascendingly. So this is similar to number 25. We can see that the first ID there is 6,870. So this one here is 6,870 because we're both sorting by the same thing. We're just showing different columns. Number 28, we will be displaying only the ID, value, and machine types columns of the rows where the range is between 250 and 350. And the machine type is equal to H. So we can't see it in. Oh, there's one. So the first one that we should be able to see is 6,120, which that is the case. Number 29. Where is that? Over here. We will display rows of the data frame where their machine type is equal to HR or X. And as we can see, the only ones that we see here are HR or X. And then number 30, finally, we will display rows where the machine type is... Oh, sorry. I missed... This should have been above it. Anyway, this one is just showing the data frame's column data type and selecting only the numerical columns as well. So there are all the data types, and there are all the numerical columns that are left after removing total from earlier. Anyway, this was my assignment 3. It was a great deep dive into a ton of these different commands and how to sort series and how to sort columns and everything, and the data frame in general. So thank you very much, and have a great day.